The next story I wanted to talk about is about a guy named Mark Taylor. Now, I've talked about him a few times before, but I want to catch you guys up because it's been a while. He's in the news again. If you guys were unaware of who this is, I pulled up the Daily Beast article about him. I read this a long time ago on the podcast, like forever ago, year probably. And I just wanted to give you guys just a little bit of an update to remind you. So let's give this a read. It's an article on the Daily Beast. The title is God Gave Us the Donald Firefighter Prophet Says in Film, and it's written by Will Somer. It was written October 7th, 2018, so it's a little bit older, but like I said, I'll give you a little context for who the guy is. Retired firefighter Mark Taylor was snoozing in front of a Donald Trump appearance on Fox News one afternoon in 2011 when he started to hear a voice coming from the TV. But the sound wasn't coming from the real estate mogul, Taylor would claim later. It was coming from God. I've chosen this man, Donald Trump, for such a time as this, Taylor claims the voice told him. For as Benjamin Netanyahu is to Israel, so shall this man be to the United States of America. Oh my God. Taylor became convinced that he had received a divine prophecy that Trump would become president. You know what's interesting? Isn't Benjamin Netanyahu out of power in Israel now? Yeah, how about that shit? Netanyahu is no longer the prime minister of Israel. Now it's Naftali Bennett. But the fact that he said Benjamin Netanyahu is super ultra mega important to Israel implies to me that the guy probably thought that some shit was going to go down while Netanyahu was in power, i.e. Armageddon or something. Some big event, biblical event was going to take place with Netanyahu at the helm. Now he's not the prime minister anymore. Interesting. And nothing happened. But God told the firefighter prophet Mark Taylor that Trump was just as important as Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's keep reading. Taylor became convinced that he'd received a divine prophecy that Trump would become president. He felt sure that after hearing the voice that Trump would run against Barack Obama and win the White House in 2012. Trump didn't end up running for president in 2012, and Obama won re-election. But in 2015, after Trump launched his presidential bid, Taylor circled back to his old vision. Maybe his prophecy was right all along. God had only let Obama win, Taylor would later claim, so that Americans would build up a righteous anger for Trump's eventual presidential bid. Taylor's prophecy caught fire during the 2016 election with a certain segment of the GOP's evangelical base. Now it's been turned into a new movie, The Trump Prophecy, which promotes the idea that Trump is God's anointed candidate, while also standing some of the crazier edges off of Taylor and his prophecies. The movie, which was available in theaters for just 2 days last year, again, this is written in 2018, so it was available for 2 days in 2017, was produced with students and faculty from Jerry Falwell's Liberty University. But the film was even contentious at the ultra-conservative school, where students worried that working on a heretical movie about a modern-day prophet would damage their careers, circulated a petition against it. Fascinating. Okay, so that's a little background into who Mark Taylor is. They made a movie about him at Liberty University, and the fact that he prophesied that Donald Trump was going to be the next president, according to God. God told him, gave him this message, that Trump would be so important to the world that he was going to put him in as president himself. That brings us to our next article. This is, again, an older one. This one came out November 16th, 2020, and the title is Mark Taylor Claims Talk of a COVID Vaccine is Code for Trump's Plans to Arrest the Cabal. Mark Taylor basically appeared on this guy's podcast. It's called the Erskine Podcast, I believe. Again, this was in November of 2020. Yeah, mid-November 2020. It was after the election had ended, and it was when the vaccines were on their way out. It's when evangelicals still wanted the vaccines to come out quickly because Trump was producing them, or so they felt, so they thought. So check out this podcast appearance on the Erskine Podcast where Mark Taylor is talking to Erskine about the vaccine. Wait, can you guys hear it? No, you can't. I can't hear it either. It's because I have to switch screens. Hold up. Oh, son of a bitch. Have I not been on the right screen this whole time? I haven't been. I'm sorry. I've been reading with that. Well, you guys just been staring at my beautiful face this whole time. Damn. It's fine. I'll fix that in post, in editing. Okay. Let's listen to the clip.
They're even calling it the Biden vaccine.
This is Erskine.
And isn't it interesting? They wait till a week after the election to announce they have a vaccine. Right.
This has been set up from the very
This one is Mark Taylor talking.
beginning from the Democrats. You know, whether it was trying to hurt Trump with the COVID, whether it was trying to hurt him with this or that.
I'm sorry, trying to hurt Trump with the COVID, quote unquote. The Democrats were trying to hurt Trump with the COVID. Democrats didn't invent this fucking virus. This shit just came along. This is how society fucking works. Pandemics take place. They happen. It's not really anybody's fault. We have to worry about this shit as a society. And we always have. I mean, there have been pandemics throughout history. We have virus DNA in our fucking bodies from like forever ago. This is how it works. Nobody, in my opinion, is really to blame for this virus. But what Trump did to try to mitigate the damage of the virus, that's what I care about. Let's keep listening.
I mean, there's so many different things. You know, the vaccine, I tell people, if you were listening to Trump back in the COVID times, to a lot of his press conferences, Trump's 10 steps ahead of everybody.
Oh, is that so? Trump is 10 steps ahead of everybody? This is news to me.
Trump's 10 steps ahead of everybody. And when you listen to him speak, every time that he would say the word COVID, switch that out with the word cabal. Mm-hmm. Every time that he says, what is the cure? The vaccine. What is the vaccine? We the people in the military.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you guys picking up on what he's saying here? So this guy, Mark Taylor, is basically saying you can take everything that Donald Trump says, and if you replace the word vaccine with the word military, and you replace, what was it?
You listen to him speak. Every time that he would say the word COVID, switch that out with the word cabal.
Okay, so when he says the word COVID, he means cabal, which is like the deep state, the people trying to, you know, control the world and do evil things or whatever. And the word vaccine, switch that out with military. So Mark Taylor, in this podcast appearance, is basically saying that Donald Trump is speaking in code. When Donald Trump talks about the virus, he's really talking about the deep state. And when he talks about the vaccine, he's really talking about the military. The virus will cure COVID. The military will take out the deep state. That's basically what he's saying. I have no clue, like, is this guy getting secret messages from God or something that's telling him this stuff? Where's he getting this batshit crazy information? I don't fucking know.
He says, what is the cure? The vaccine. What is the vaccine? We the people in the military. When they go in and they start arresting these people.
Oh, yeah. Has that happened or what? They seem to believe that the military is going to go in and arrest a bunch of people, a bunch of Democrats, a bunch of Republicans, just everybody throughout the entire government is going to be arrested for, I don't fucking know what. What do QAnoners believe they're going to arrest them for? Crimes against humanity and all that other stuff. Has that happened? I mean, Trump is now out of power completely. Remember, this video, or this podcast appearance happened in November of 2020, so a little bit under a year ago now. This is before Trump left office officially, before Biden was inaugurated. All this shit was supposed to go down before Trump left office. What happened? Were you wrong, Mark Taylor? Is that what happened? Were you incorrect? Were you just talking straight out of your ass? Is that what happened?
I think he was giving code out a lot of times to the people because there's always more than one depth of revelation to what he says.
Isn't that a fascinating choice of words? Revelation. It's always more than one depth of revelation to what Donald Trump says. Earlier, I got a super chat from the biggest of Chungai, and they said, how long do you think it'll be before a religious leader says, that's it, we worship Trump now, he's the Messiah, we don't care about Jesus anymore? And I pointed out that they just kind of subtly slipped that in. That's just kind of what they started doing, without saying it overtly. That's what's happening right now. Mark Taylor is a pastor of a church, a real church. And he's referring to Donald Trump as a Messiah and reading the words that he says as revelation. No joke.
He's so much far ahead of the game. So the vaccine is the cure for what? The cabal. That's what's going to happen, I believe, when they release the vaccine.
That is so completely unhinged from reality. I honestly don't even know what to say about it. But it gets even crazier in this podcast. Keep listening.
We're going to go with corona. It's called the coronavirus. Now, if you go with corona, C-O-R-O-N-A, 6 letters. C is the third letter in the alphabet. O is the 15th letter. R is the 18th. O is the 15th. N is the 14th. A is the 1st. 6 letters in corona. Those other numbers add up to 66. 666. A cult-driven script and a Luciferian human sacrifice, a mega ritual. This is what Satan uses, and that's it. 666, corona. Is that coincidence? I don't buy coincidence. Do you?
Nope.
Yep. That's where we are now. That's the level of discourse. That's what these people believe. These people are so completely and totally disconnected from reality at this point. Is there any bringing them back down to earth? I don't know. I don't know how we'd even go about doing that. They are not even in the same reality as us at this point. Seriously. Anyways, as I was saying, Mark Taylor's actually in the news again. There's an article about him on Friendly Atheist website written by Beth Stoneburner titled MAGA Cultist Mark Taylor, Vaccines Are One of the Biggest Ever. So I wanted to give this article a read, and then we'll check the clip out and see what Mark Taylor had to say for himself. Let's give this a read. Christian right activist and conspiracy theorist Mark Taylor, the subject of the Liberty University-connected film The Trump Prophecy, and guy who once said Trump discussing potential COVID vaccines was code for arresting satanic, people-eating, has been MIA on this site, at least for the past several months. But fear not, he just broke his silence to declare that the vaccines are and that President Joe Biden is a traitor. Let's give this clip a watch and see what old Mark Taylor had to say for himself here. This clip came out early September 2021.
We have got to stand up to this stuff. This is a genocide that is taking place right now, Paul.
Yeah.
And where is the church?
That flipped pretty fucking quick. They were all in favor of the vaccine until the moment Trump left office, and suddenly the vaccine's been a plot to destroy good Republican men since day one. Since the moment it was invented, it's been out there to hurt people. There's no consistency in what they say or do or think. Doesn't exist. Do you know these people's singular goal? To destroy their enemy. That's it. Mark Taylor and right-wing evangelical types' only goal is to own the libs, to hurt the other, to separate themselves into an us versus them mentality. Separate themselves into us versus them tribes. Identify their enemy and destroy them at any cost, even if it costs them moral consistency. They don't care. They want to destroy the other. Let's keep listening.
Where's the prophets?
Yeah.
Where are they? Because
Come
the
on.
fact of the matter is, this is going to go down as one of the biggest genocides in world history right now. And only we can stop it. We the people can stop it. Again, the faster we rise up and do something, the faster this stuff will be over with. Look, I'm sick and tired of hearing Joe Biden impeach Joe Biden.
Yeah.
You and I both know this is going to be nothing, okay, in an
Right.
impeachment, just like it was with Clinton.
This is actually a pretty big deal that he's saying this. It doesn't seem like it at first glance, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, has been filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden since she got elected into office. It's obnoxious, honestly. The House is not controlled by Republicans, and even if it was, the articles of impeachment are ridiculous and meaningless, and they almost certainly wouldn't pass the House anyways. And if they did pass the House, they would not pass the Senate. Zero chance of that happening. Even a Republican-controlled Senate. It is difficult to impeach a president. You have to have a supermajority, I believe, 67 votes in the Senate to eject a president. It's not very easy. It's nearly impossible to get that done. It was so difficult to do that even after Trump was already out of office, and even after he had actually inspired a real full-blown violent insurrection, we still couldn't get him impeached. That's how difficult it is. I mean, we still couldn't get him removed from office. He was impeached twice. There's zero chance of Joe Biden being impeached, basically. Zero. And Mark Taylor realizes that and sees Marjorie Taylor Greene's attempts as what it is. It's a stunt. And he apparently doesn't like that very much. Let's keep listening.
Just like it was with Clinton. I'm tired of hearing about the 25th Amendment. Look, I want him, his administration, Milley, and these other generals that are responsible for Afghanistan, they need to be arrested and charged with treason.
Okay. What did they do that was treasonous? Because even what Donald Trump did would be questionably treasonous. The definition of treason in the U.S. Constitution is treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. A case could be made that Donald Trump did do that while in office with the January 6th people. Obviously, based on what Congressman Madison Cawthorn was saying earlier in a recent video.
What are you doing to support the 535 Americans that were held captured from January 6th?
Political hostages, no doubt.
They view the insurrectionists as of a different nationality than the people who arrested them, obviously. I mean, that's what I'm picking up from it, right? If they really view the insurrectionists on January 6th as a different nationality from everybody else, that could lead me to think that they are responsible for being treasonous. I mean, there would be an argument there to say that Trump committed treason, but not necessarily before that. I would say before that, he was committing sedition. The definition of sedition is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. The difference is Donald Trump encourages people to get violent or rebel against the country that they live in. With treason, he's actually assisting political enemies, foreign outside enemies, to attack the government that he's running. That would kind of be the difference for Donald Trump's sake. Honestly, I don't think that it was treasonous, anything that Trump really did. There is an argument there for it, but I don't think that's the right word. I think the right word is sedition. And there is a hell of a lot of sedition going on right now, like in the United States. Republicans have been extremely, disturbingly seditious lately. Let's get back to the article and see what else Beth Stoneburner had to say. Jews and Native Americans would like a word with Mark Taylor about one of the biggest genocides in world history. That's a good fucking point, huh? Yeah, a lot of people don't really know this, but or didn't really connect the dots. I can tell you I didn't connect the dots on this, but the Trail of Tears and other horrific events in American history, that was straight up full-blown genocide. The U.S. committed genocide against Native Americans. I didn't really view it that way before. Maybe that's because the teacher who was in the classroom teaching me about it didn't want me to view it that way. I don't fucking know. But it wasn't until years later, after I had already gotten out of school, when I started to realize that Native Americans really were full-blown genocided by the U.S. government. It was horrific. And again, the Jews probably have a word for Mr. Mark Taylor here about the biggest genocide in world history. This is Beth Stoneburner speaking again. And we know where the church is, quote-unquote. Churches, many of them anyway, are furthering the genocide by preaching against vaccination. Well said. It's astonishing that people pushing this particular conspiracy, that vaccines are out to get you, are going up against the very obvious fact that people in hospitals right now are overwhelmingly unvaccinated. If this is a then the plotters must be using reverse psychology by trying to save everyone's lives. The simple solution is that the vaccines just work, but Taylor refuses to accept that because his entire mindset rests on a mound of conspiracies. It's no wonder he's blaming everything on Biden, despite how Trump's COVID ignorance made a bad situation much, much worse. I found it really fascinating what Beth Stoneburner said here. It's astonishing that people pushing this particular conspiracy, that vaccines are out to get you, are going up against the very obvious fact that the people in hospitals right now are overwhelmingly unvaccinated. I want to show you guys a quick clip. Hang on, maybe this is it.
I am not going to.
Yep, this is it. This is it. Okay.
It's not by definition of...
Okay, hold up. Let me pull it up real quick. And you guys know I'm OCD, so I have to fix this and get it pixel fucking perfect. There is no such thing as close enough with with an OCD person. Okay, here we go. You guys have probably seen this before, but I just want to play it for you just to refresh your memory on it. Give this clip a listen.
It's not by definition a vaccine.
Then what is it?
It is a human trial.
The caption says, "My dad trying to buy me off from getting the vaccine."
It is genetic therapy. It's not a vaccine. It doesn't fall under the category of a vaccine. It's not FDA approved.
Why are you trying to buy me off with it, though?
Because I love you. Why do you think I want to buy you off?
I don't want money, though. Like,
I know you don't, but I don't know what else to do.
you didn't do this to Michael and Kelsey. They already got it.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I know that? Why do you think I'm fucking crazy? Your mother got it. Why do you think I'm fucking crazy? My family is gone. My family is gone. By the end of this flu season, most of you will be dead. What the fuck do you expect me to be?
That's fucking sad. This guy believes that his family is all going to be dead by the end of the flu season. And it's thanks to people like old Mark Taylor here, spreading the idea that the vaccine is a genocide. That is exactly what this guy believed. He bought what Mark Taylor had to say. Hook, line, and sinker. He ate it up.
My family is gone. My family is gone. By the end of this flu season, most of you will be dead. What the fuck do you expect me to be?
That's fucking sad. What Mark Taylor is doing here by talking about how this vaccine is a genocide, not only is it increasing vaccine hesitancy, which is objectively a bad thing because I want to increase the number of people who survive this situation, it's also leading to people having complete mental breakdowns like that guy was. We have got to do something about this complete ass backwards view of reality. We got to do something to help people come back to reality, to break out of their programming, break out of the mind control that they've been subjected to, much like I was subjected to it when I was a Jehovah's Witness. We have to find a way to help these people get out of it. Otherwise, we're going to just end up with more people like this guy here.
This flu season, most of you will be dead. What the fuck do you expect me to be?